Hey everyone, welcome to your Autumn Equinox Pick a Leaf reading. I'm excited to bring these to you for this 3-month period, and it's actually a part 2 of two of these videos that I'm doing. The first one was actually back on August 8th, and those were the Lion's Gate portal readings. Those were letting you know what you were surrendering to or what you were getting ready to surrender, and that energy has been working since August 8th up until this reading, which will be from September 22nd to December 21st for this year. And these readings are going to be out, because autumn, fall, what is falling away out of your life to make room for the new. So I will go ahead and put the link for the Lion's Gate portal readings in the description box below, and also a link to the playlist at the end of this video, just to make it convenient for you there. So I would definitely go check those out if you haven't already, just to see what energies we're bringing you into this autumn equinox period. And as I mentioned, this is a pick a leaf reading, so you do have a choice between 3 different leaves, or 2 or 3, as many as you want. We don't limit it here, but if you want to choose the red leaf, that's reading number 1. The orange leaf will be reading number 2, and the yellow leaf will be reading number 3. Number 1 we're going to do first, and so if you chose one of the others, that timestamp will also be in the description box below. So let's dive right in and see what this fall equinox is going to be bringing you. All right, all my Aquarians, if you chose reading number 1, which is the red leaf reading, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Power of Surrender cards. And this is going to represent what the Creator wants you to know about what is falling away from your life during the autumn equinox period. And don't worry, right away, we're also going to be pulling some cards to find out, as that energy leaves, what energy is filling that place. So you won't be left feeling empty or have a hole in your energy. As the one moves, the other one moves in right behind it. So let me shuffle this one more time here. All right, Creator, what do you want our Aquarians to know that chose the red leaf? What is falling away? There we go. What's falling away during this equinox period for you? And surrendering worries. So worry is falling away. Hallelujah, right? Beautiful card there. And it says, make a commitment not to lead an anxiety-driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart. And have faith that Spirit is guiding you always. Beautiful. I am loving that. So yeah, definitely it is worry that is falling away, which also has to do with letting go of control a little bit. I know it's a tough one, but it's falling away only because you're ready for it to, and it's designed for this to fall away out of your life now, because you are going to do different things, whether it's learning breathing techniques to help come out of that fight or flight so you can make different choices. Whatever it might be that brings you to that place of quietness instead of that place of anxiety and chaos. And that's all, our fear, our fight or flight that is doing that for us. And you're going to, says, focus on the power of your heart and have faith that Spirit is guiding you always. Because as we focus on the unconditional love that's in our heart chakra, that's in our spiritual heart, then we realize and define ourselves by that instead of all those should be, supposed to's, and need to's, all that other stuff out there in the world. Let me just shut this a little bit so I get a little too bright there. All that stuff out there, that stuff makes us feel unstable. That's the storm of chaos that makes us feel out of control because we can't control any of that. Then we come back to our heart and what we can control, which is our power of choice. Am I going to choose an extreme feeling of fear or an extreme feeling of unconditional love? And that is a big, powerful thing for us. But let's see what the Creator wants you to know about what energy comes in as this worry drops away. And we're going to pull a card here from the Wild Unknown Archetype cards. And we'll see what energy the Creator wants you to know about. What's next on your plate? All right, Creator, for our aquas that chose the red leaf, what? Okay. And you've got the Orphan, which is pretty funny. I was actually just talking to an astrology friend of mine yesterday, and I did not know this till last night, which is so perfect for this reading, that Aquarians, we very much relate to feeling like the orphan of the zodiac. We feel different and like the redheaded stepchild. But we're okay with being weird and strange and different. But that's why we can relate to this orphan type of feel, right? And I'll read about this too. But the message that I always get with this, and whenever I come across an orphan feel, is that transformation from feeling like a redheaded stepchild to feeling like the only child. And that energy relates to the Trinity, which is we have the divine masculine father, the divine feminine mother, which can be this spirit or Holy Spirit, depending on your faith. But you have the feminine masculine, the parental divine parents that we have, and usually it's Jesus, or a holy child. And the amazing thing is that we can have that type of Trinity relationship with the Creator, where we're the only child to the Creator, because the Creator has the ability to be everywhere all at once. They don't have to divide their time or energy among the trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of souls, and we get a minuscule piece of it, right? No, we get to have this ability where the Creator is face to face with us as our mother, father, and 24 hours a day, every day, 100% of their attention just on us, like we're an only child, and be spoiled like an only child, and that is the transition that happens with this. And we'll read what the book has to say with this too, but I really feel like this is the transition that happens. And with that, then, you definitely, that only child unconditional love from the Creator fills your heart. And who wouldn't you trust? You would trust in the Creator, you trust in Spirit, you trust them in guiding us on our path, because we can trust them. They're the only ones we can trust, because they're the only ones that are stable, and all those beings of unconditional love and light on the other side, they're stable in that unconditional love. All the characters we're playing down here are unstable, right? Both mentally, physically, emotionally. But our worth is unstable because we're taught to define ourselves by unstable things on the outside rather than, the stable, because people change or pass away. Situations never stay the same. Things break, deteriorate, burn down, or are stolen. So all those things we use to define our worth are unstable and temporary. And so our worth and our feeling for ourselves is unstable and temporary, right? So I just wanted to mention that. Let me just move this card over a little bit. And so the orphan is the wounded child, the abandoned, the beggar. And to study the orphan is to study the deep and challenging energy of our time. We are ever more connected, yet face collective isolation. So we're very connected, through the internet and all that. Yet we face this collective isolation where we also feel very isolated when we're in our human side, right? The refugee crisis haunts our planet. Children are separated from parents, and the earth begs for our attention. We're in a time of universal orphanage of nature, of each other, of our own hearts. But it says, take refuge in the fact that we all share this core wound and dilemma. It's normal to fear this card as it haunts the caverns of the soul. When it appears, take time, real time, to be in presence of the feelings this card stirs in you. Let it humble you. What are you starving for? What is the deepest gift you could imagine giving to others? What has been rejected is quite possibly what is most needed, dear one. It also says that tenderness beyond tenderness is required. Imagine holding yourself in your hands to recognize that each one of us fears rejection and isolation is just take one step toward the orphan. More kindness always. And then it says, access this archetype through creative acts like drawing, painting, or writing. Keep it simple. And then ask the orphan what it wants to draw, what it wants to make, what it wants to say. And when you're in the light energy of the orphan, then you do feel deep solace, deep acceptance, deep love. And when you're in the dark side of this energy, you feel distanced. You feel hates and you avoid things. You're controlling, you're limiting. And to go deeper into this energy, it recommends you can read Mary Oliver's The Kitten. So if you feel drawn to do that, check that out. But definitely, this worry about being rejected and about, being thrown outside the tribe is at our core. And this beautiful orphaned feel and this orphaned energy is so transitional, like I said, to moving into this belief and this connection with the only child. We, of course, are going to dig deeper into this, and we're going to look at this Wild Unknown Tarot, which is the companion deck to this Wild Unknown archetype. And what we're going to do is pull 4 different stacks, and we will see what these represent. Let me tell you. So we're going to pull a card here or a card, so many ever come out. And it'll represent from the Lionsgate portal on August 8th all the way up to the Autumn Equinox on September 22nd, what energies and experiences you've had during that time that you're bringing into the Autumn Equinox. And then we will pull a card here, which represents September 22nd to October 22nd. A card here is October 22nd to November 21st. It's one day less because there's 31 days in October, which brings it back a day. And so this will be November 21st, all the way up to December 21st, which brings us right to the winter solstice. So let's see what the Creator has in store. So for this first period here from Lionsgate portal up to September 22nd, please. Okay, so we'll do that. These 3 do want to come, so we will do these 3 for that, and then September 22nd to October 22nd. And then October 22nd to November 21st. They just go for this right along here. Okay, and then they say these 2 are for November 21st. All right. And then we also will be pulling clarifying cards from this Everyday Tarot for all this period, for each of these periods as well. So we'll start off here. So from Lionsgate, August 8th, all the way up until September 22nd, the energy that you're bringing in, very nice. So you got the Magician here. You see the infinity symbol here. So you're definitely in connection with your higher self, your eternal self. And the amazing thing is, usually it's the wand that's bringing down this amazing energy that you are down into the earth. And it's very much a manifestor's card. That is, that you can bring so much into this world. And it's understanding what you want to bring into this world is always our challenge, right? Because we're like, well, if I really knew what I wanted to bring into the world, and I knew that I could, what would I bring into the world? And you have all the 4 suits here, your swords, your pentacles, your cups, and your wands here that also represent that you have everything that you need. And you're realizing the power that you hold, that, you know what? I have all the conditions are right in my world that I could bring about what I want. And again, I really feel it's trying to decide, what do I want? It's card number 1, and I kind of feel like the energy for this is like, yeah, I'm at step 1. Okay, let's find out now, what do I want to accomplish? Then I'll figure out how, and then take action toward it. But the first step is, what do I want to manifest? What do I want to bring here? And then you have the Father of Cups, which would be the King of the Cups. And here you have the Holy Grail, the chalice. This is what brings us, what's in that cup is the living waters, the unconditional love of the Creator of all things. And sometimes they even called this, like the Christ love, the Christ energy, because it's this beautiful energy that would do anything for us. And so I really feel this is the connection that we're looking for here is, again, with your higher self, connecting to your higher self, with all this energy you're bringing in from the Lion's Gate up to here, you're really just becoming aware of this inner existence, this inner essence, this love that's so different than anything you felt before, because you're really becoming more aware of who you are, and the power that you hold. And because of that, this is what's bringing you to this point of this, like, wow, everything I thought I wanted in life suddenly is switching, because the intent is changing for you. You're I kind of feel like the compass is changing. Like the due north used to be, success meant this, and now you're like, whoop, now that's correcting. It's like someone had a magnet in it that was making it off course to what true north is. And then you've found true north, which is this unconditional love inside, and now you're like, okay, so now what am I going to do? What kind of plans am I going to make? Yeah, because here you got the Lovers. And for me, this card, of course, for some it can be, someone's, a special relationship coming in, new love, a higher love, that kind of thing. And I really, always feel like, yeah, this is connecting to the true you, connecting to the higher you, because here you are, in this same big spark there. And one of the interpretations I love of the major arcana for the Lovers is really because the first kind of 7 cards in the major arcana are about our evolution as we come here as a soul, and as we kind of wake up in our ego and our experience there. And like the 2 cards before this are the Emperor and the Hierophant, which represent society and organized religion. The human side trying to define how humans should act, defining how humans should express their spirituality, right? So it's very much these rules and regulations and those types of things. And then this Lover's card comes after that, which is amazing because how they explained it, which I so resonate with, is that we usually, through praise and punishment, are so dedicated to the rules as children because we're like, I don't want to get punished and I do want to get that ice cream or whatever it might be, whatever that reward was. But when we first fall in love or first start feeling lust or attraction to someone, suddenly roles are second. My feelings for that person are number one, and I'll do anything. I'll break all of my roles and my curfews and whatever to be with that person because I just can't help it. And this love that comes in is all about, it's the first time we feel this overwhelming emotion that overrides our fear of breaking the rules. And so I feel with this combination of all these cards, it's like, yes, you're coming to this place and this realization of, I understand now, that this is what I want. But even though like I'm supposed to be searching for this, wanting to get promoted to that next highest position, instead of stepping out of this high position to focus on what I really want to do with my life, and people are freaking out. How could you give up that salary? I mean, that's the goal, and so it's really about going against that because of this new love and this new passion that you have for your life that you're finding. And we're going to push some more cards here real quick and just see what else the Creator wants you to know about that energy there. What are you bringing into autumn? Creator, what else do you want them to know about this period of time in this energy? Okay, got this one, you got this one. Okay, yeah, makes sense. So 6 of Swords, your mindsets, your beliefs, your mentalities, your attitudes, and you're leaving the old and moving toward the new. So new thoughts, new movement. It can actually even mean physical movement. So with this change that you're having here, like I said, you could be leaving a job, leaving a relationship, leaving a home, whatever it may be. You're leaving, something, either thoughts and mentalities and beliefs, or something physical and or. Yeah, and here you go. So Hierophant, this is really good. So I really feel a big message for this is what you're leaving behind is your spiritual beliefs that have been limiting you, that have made you feel like you, it's like, what I love is that it has these keys on here, so it always reminds me that society, how it does with our human actions, with organized religions, they do that with our spiritual beliefs, and that they put these gates up of like, you can't go beyond this, no, this is wrong, you can't go beyond here. And in the beginning, it was for us. Societies make rules so we don't kill each other as we come together as large groups of people. And a lot of organized religions are about keeping us from falling into human sacrifice, and so they have rituals and coming together in commonalities. We can do so much together, so the beginnings are so good for our society and all that, but then the human ego and fear gets involved, and then power becomes extensive, where it goes way, way beyond that initial innocent idea. And so these keys help you unhook that and move beyond it. And the example I give is cards. I grew up in a very not grew up, I'd say around 12 years old, and for a couple of decades deep in different portions of Christianity and different different wings of the Christianity, and pulling cards and things like this was very frowned upon and even called satanic and of the devil. And so it was huge for me when I started evolving more in my spiritual relationship with the Creator, and I was like, I'm really attracted to this, and I get such beautiful revelations, and it's helped my relationship with the Creator just become so much more, where I trust them so much more, and that I have this love that's so deep, and it's helped me so much. And I go, is this wrong? And so I asked the Creator, I'm like, I need some clarification. And what came to me was this example of a knife, or like a sword, that a sword or knife can be used to cut bread and put butter on it, to help, feed people. It can help cut people free from being bound with rope and, that kind of stuff, or chop wood, depending on how big the knife is or sword, it can help, because the person who's wielding it, but also someone could hurt someone or kill them with it too. And he goes, any tool in the world, it depends on who's yielding it. And it can be one of light, and it can be one of shadows and fear. And so it was like, if it allows communication from me, what is wrong with it? And I'm like, yeah. And then he also showed me, like, in the Christian Bible, it talks about God speaking through the jawbone of a donkey. He can use anything to use to communicate with us. And so it's about opening up those gates and allowing us to move further and further into the world. You can see that on the Hierophant. He has two hands up and two fingers hidden, right? 2 fingers up and 2 fingers down, and that represents that there's hidden things that are beyond that gate, and those keys are what help us unlock that and move past it. So I feel all that for you there. So thank you for your patience as I explained all that. And you got the 5, and you got the number 5 there as well. So there's you feel like an orphan when we're under this rule, because we feel like we're not worthy to get in, into the throne room of God, as they used to say in the old Christian tabernacle, the old kind of temple they had this veil, and if you weren't a high priest and you hadn't been purified, if you went behind that because you're in the presence of God, they said you would die. And so they'd even tie a rope around his waist, so if they heard plunk and they heard him stop chanting, they could pull the body out. And with that kind of fear that happens, it's like, oh my God, we can't move, and we feel like we're an orphan, like we're parentless because we're abandoned. We can't even see our father, we don't even know who our mother is, and spiritually. And so I love this transition of moving into being able to feel like that only child of the Creator. So all that brings you into here, and perfect. You have the 3 of Cups here. These are the emotions, but for me, this has a special meaning our spirit, all our feathered friends on the other side, all our guardian angels and spirit guides and loved ones who've been with us in this lifetime that have moved on to the next, our ancestors. Whatever your beliefs in our higher power of beings of unconditional love and light, this is them saying, in that awareness of them being in your life. And so that makes so much sense that as you unlock this door, and it allows you to connect. Like I used to picture myself then running into the throne room and jumping on the lap of the Creator and just saying, hey, and they're, they smile. It's almost, I get this picture of like this emperor, like this ancient Chinese emperor, and they have this huge massive throne room, and there's all the people and the guards and everyone, and I'm this little kid that busts through these big doors, and they're in the middle of business and stuff, and it all stops as I run up, and the emperor just has this huge grin on his face, and I leap up, and he just embraces me and just holds me, and then the empress is next to the emperor, and they are just loving, and they stop everything because I'm the most important thing to them. And that's the feeling that comes. And then because of that, you're moving into this energy that you have here. You have access to all those beautiful beings that are in that throne room, and like I said, all those individuals. Before we come down here, we've agreed on things that we're going to live and experiences we're going to have, and they're always going about that business, bringing us what we wanted to experience. But while we're here, we can still ask them each and every day of our own free will, because they will not mess with our free will. They will, if we just ask them, come into my life today and meddle as much as you want. Bring me all the experiences that are for my highest, vibration of unconditional love and my highest experiences here. I give you permission. I ask you of my own free will. And they're just, so excited and so waiting for us to ask that we do. And like, yes, they're like, boom, immediately off into help. And they bring signs and synchronicities and, people call them God winks and whatever it may be, they come. So I love this. This is like September 22nd to October 22nd is a huge just connection to the other side. So let's see what else the Creator wants you to know about this month as well. See what else. I'm like, wow. I am loving that though. Okay, so you got these two here. Yeah, so this makes sense. So you're understanding, one, that all the restrictions and everything that you felt were of your own making as well. So all the Hierophant stuff, they were saying, this is what you need to do. And you're like, okay, you took all their opinion on as your own and you made it. And that's what trapped you and what made you feel bound and what made you feel blinded to things because of those beliefs. And the awareness that comes from this is amazing, because once you realize you're the one that has done that to you, after you get over judging yourself and being angry about this revelation that all these failings and stuff are all my making. Yep. Rah, 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 rah. Once you get over that, you're like, oh, wait a minute. That means I control everything going forward too. I'm cool, and that's cool. And then the other thing is you have the Five of Wands, which this is about understanding, wands are your fire, your passion, your drive, but also represents your spirit. And for the way this is unfolding, especially if this is a 5 and a 5 and a 5, this is your moving up to another level in your spirituality. Because 5 with the fire is, for me, is the, your spiritual side, your spiritual awareness. And, those different wands are your levels, and you're leveling up, going to that next step. So 5 and 5 and 5. Can't make it up. And so that brings you into October 22nd. Again, wands. And you've got two of wands. And so this is the, for me, it's like this pause. It almost looks like a pause button, right? That there's this, I'm not going to say a delay. I'm just going to say that you're taking time to really dig into your spirituality, really pausing all these other things in your life, and really seeing the difference between the two of you that inhabit your experience here on the earth. You have your human side, and then you have your higher self and your spirit. And so you're learning during this time, and you can see how they're not straight up, they're coming together, and you're understanding that as you connect to your spiritual side, you don't have to kill off your ego, because your ego, your human side, is part of you. It's part of your reflection, and really the brave part of us that wanted to come down here and experience what it might feel like to be limited and small and disconnected from our whole spiritual power and awareness. Because in experiencing what we're not, we understand more fully who we are. And so it's for us that a piece of ourself broke off to, come down here. And so this is a beautiful time of taking this pause and kind of marrying that together is how I feel for this. Let's see what else we've got here. Yeah, because you got the 9 of Pentacles. So this is normally like someone in a garden with they have a feathered friend with them, that they're means contentment, feeling abundant, feeling grateful, feeling like you have everything you need in your life, which totally makes sense, because as you're marrying this, your higher self does bring you what your human side has been looking for along, which is that unconditional love from the Creator of all things. You're bringing in this love in for you here. So I really feel, let me see here. Yeah, Mother of Pentacles. So this is, Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. You can see your higher self and your little self, and this love that you're giving to yourself, and the nurturing that you're giving yourself. And you just have this, for me also, because she's like the Queen of Pentacles in a regular tarot. So you got the Mother and the Queen. She's very much about gratitude and thankfulness, because she understands abundance, and she understands, it's almost like the Empress, but it's very much Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. So nurturing yourself, nurturing both of yourselves, but your little self is what's feeling really this wholeness and completeness that it hasn't in quite a while. Let's see what else the Creator wants you to know about that period of time there. Okay, so got these two. Yeah, so that makes sense. So that pause, we're talking about, it's taking time away, making sure you have time for yourself, and you've got, this is your higher self that lights up the lantern, that guides your way in the dark nights that we have here in the shadow of our experience. So this really is this beautiful, kind of, like I said, the marrying of the two. You understand, you're not needed if there's no darkness in this physical plane, and your human self understands that life is so much more brighter, and you stumble less over the rocks if you have something guiding you through the darkness. And just this beautiful cohesion that happens there. And then you've got the Three of Swords, which these are the expectations. For me, this is expectations, heartbreak, and we're understanding this lantern is bringing more light onto all those expectations that we had in our life, all those supposed tos, those shoulds, those need tos. Those things that when they don't happen in our life, they pierce our hearts, where we feel like we have a broken heart, but it's actually our fear kicking in, our fight or flight. And it feels like someone pinches our heart or stabs our heart, like in the picture, it's like, ow! And it's because we're going into fear mode, because we fear, what does it mean if this should doesn't happen, or this supposed to doesn't happen, or this need to doesn't happen, or this have to doesn't happen. All these opinions we've been told, like we were talking about with the Hierophant and the Emperor, that there's all this light that's shining on it. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put the Hermit on top of that, because that is the experience that you have, that you're this bonding and this understanding, that's why you came down here, is to experience all of those feelings, those uncomfortable feelings. Sometimes we judge ourselves so harshly, because I'm like, I shouldn't feel that way. Well, obviously you should, or you wouldn't be feeling that way. It's like, with what you believe and what you have in your mind at the moment, that's how only you can feel, until you realize something new and something higher and something different, where, like we said, when you move your mindsets and you move your beliefs into a different place, then you understand that you can make a different choice. And then you do, if you want to. And so this is a beautiful unfolding between October 22nd and November 21st, which brings you into this world here, which, it's funny, you had the Two of Wands, and you have the Two of Swords. So again, that coming together of the two, I really feel is so important. You've got the Sun and the Moon that come in here. And so just more understanding, where this is the energy that's joining together. This is like the higher understanding, your higher thoughts and beliefs are finally they're intersecting, and they're joining together to bring this beautiful experience. Everyone gets excited around a solar eclipse because it's so different and so new, and look, it's exciting, right? And that's what this brings for you as well. Because then here you have the Four of Wands, and you can see in the middle, there you go again, that beautiful energy popping in. Wands, spiritual energy. The Four is a very strong foundation, like a four legs on a table, so you're becoming very stable energy instead of all over the place chaotic energy. So you're really balancing out in a beautiful way here. I know it looks like the from Lord of the Rings, that eye. It's like, no, this is but this is like your third eye. You're able to see things from a different point of view, and you have this new, beautiful, balanced energy that's coming in. It's also blue, aqua blue, which is the color of the throat chakra. So it's like this new energy where you're being able to express unconditional love out into the physical world. So where a lot of this was an internal piece of your journey, this is where it's kind of seeping out into the external world. All right, Creator, and what else do you want them to know about November 21st to December 21st, please? Okay. Okay, anything else? And last pass. Okay, I thought that was it. Okay, so Four of Wands again. So definitely that's exactly what they're talking about. It's a time of, it's a very grateful energy, very thankful, explosive type of energy, because again, here's the four wands supporting all of that, and it's just a beautiful celebration type of feel to it, and that is how it feels, when you have that, when you fill up with unconditional love and it overpours out to others. It's a very different feel of giving versus before with expectations, where you're given of yourself before you're even full yourself, and so you're resentful, the bitter energy with which we give when we're like, I'm not even full yet, but I'm giving you stuff off my plate, it's like, I don't know why. It's like when you go to McDonald's with a friend and they buy something, you're like, you're gonna get fries? No, I'm good. I'm like, all right. And so you get your fries and they start eating your fries. And like, when did you get your own fries? Like, well, I like yours. No, but in this abundance is like, you have such a large overflowing. You have like, it's like Red Robin, where it's the bottomless basket of fries. It doesn't matter. There's more fries for everyone always. So that's too funny. All right, so you had here's the Two of Wands coming again. And so what I feel for this is a different feeling than it was on here, though. This is like, because of all this change of attitude and atmosphere, you see the world in a whole different way. And so your plans change. And this is about how you're putting this new, beautiful energy into the world. How do you want to do it? You're plotting and planning and thinking, this is what I'd like to do. And so you're really taking this time to do that, and really even putting some of it into action, because you're so full of fire that you're making plans and you're making things happen, because you're so excited about how to share this feeling. And again, when I went back to that story of, being, and actually I don't think it was for this reading that I mentioned it, but it's a story of you're taken away as a royal child, for like all those movies where there's a child that's born into royalty and then they're taken away because some reason for safety and yada, 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 and they don't even know they're royalty. And then as they grow up and grow older, suddenly they become aware that they're royalty. And then they come back into the kingdom. They realize they're the only child and the heir to the throne. It's that kind of feel that all this happens. And then you get the strength card, which is totally a lot of what we've talked about, where this lion is our human side that comes down and is taught that all these things out here are what are going to fulfill your hunger and fulfill your thirst. And so the lion goes out and drinks all that stuff and eats all that stuff, and it's temporary, or it makes it hungry or thirstier. And so it's this roaring lion in the jungle that's so desperate and so thirsty and so hungry that it's roaring. And then you'll see here again our infinite self coming down, and this is our higher self, And it comes down to calm our lion. And it doesn't do it by putting it in a cage or by stabbing it with a sword or trying to get it into submission with a whip in a chair, like in the circus movies, Our higher self comes down and gives our lion what it's been searching for, which is what it's been hungry for all along, is love. And we are beings of unconditional love. And so when we come down, we're able to give it what it needs. And so it switches from this roaring lion in the jungle to this purring kitten, boo 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 boo. And so she hugs it. And that's where you feel that completion and you feel that fulfillment, like we were talking about, with the Nine of Pentacles here. So I love this message for you. The last card that we're going to pull is, yes, another wild unknown deck. This one is the Animal Spirit deck. And what this is going to represent is the spirit animal or animal guide that's going to be with you from the Lion's Gate portal on August 8th all the way through to at least the winter solstice, if not longer. So we'll see here. Which spirit animal? All right. Okay, I feel like this is the one here. And you got the elk. And I love that, especially with this one because it has the same one on here too. But we're going to put Mr. Elk right here, or Mrs. I guess it's Mr. Elk. They're the ones with the horns, I think. Just masculine energy, of course. And so this is stable, resilient, headstrong, the father. That's funny. So the orphan and the father. The great elk represents the earth element in its masculine form. And this means it provides underlying support and stability amidst life's many challenges. An elk personality, whether male or female, is fully established in themselves and knows their core values. They become known and respected for acting in ways that uphold those values. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most part, they make damn good fathers, mothers, lovers, and friends. The world needs more elk energy. You can't make that up. So the orphan, and this energy that comes to help you through all this is the good mother or mother and father. I love it. When you're in balance with this energy, you feel supported, you feel kindness, you feel consistency. When you're out of balance with this energy, you feel pretentious, you feel high and mighty. And to bring this into balance, it says eat and drink more consciously, which is hilarious because we've been just talking about, this lion is all about eating and drinking of those things. When you drink more consciously of this cup of love from above, from the Father of Cups, Father, Mother of Cups, that is a consciousness. So you're eating and drinking consciously from above. All right. I definitely love this message for you. Just know as you go through each and every day, you are indeed unconditionally loved by the Mother and Father of all things. And I love you too. You have an amazing autumn, and I'm definitely sure I'll be talking to you very soon. So you take care, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, my Aquarians, if you chose reading number 2, which is the orange leaf, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Power of Surrender cards. And what this is going to represent is what the Creator wants you to know about what's falling away for you in the autumn equinox period. And don't be afraid, because right away we will also look and see what energy is replacing that energy as it moves out. So you'll never be feeling left empty with energy pockets and holes. So first we're going to start off here. Creator, what do you want our Aquarians that chose the orange leaf to know about what's falling away out of their life? Okay. And you got surrender to passion. Dun, dun, dun. And it says, get out of your head and feel the fire in your belly. Focus on the people or activities that ignite your passion and let it flow. And being an air sign, you understand what it means to have that reminder to get out of our heads, right? Because air signs are very much about thinking and figuring things out, and we can get too much in our mind. So I love that you're surrendering to the blocks to living your passion and being connected to your passion. And so that's what's going to be falling away in the month of, not the month, but the whole period of the Autumn Equinox. Trying to do two things at once evidently is not my thing, talking and shuffling. So sorry about that. We've got these wild unknown archetype is what we're going to pull next. And this is going to show us what we are, what energy is coming in as this energy moves out. So what the Creator wants you to know about what's coming in. All right, Creator, for Aquarians that chose the orange leaf, what do you want them to know what's coming in new as this new space opens up, this new energy? All right. And you've got the stone. All right, so let's take a look here. And we'll see what energy comes with that here. That's okay. So we've got the stone, and this is the eternal, the anchor, the rock. So as an archetypal object, the stone holds psychic and literal weight. Its energy is one of permanence, concreteness, and reliability. The stone's ability to transform is nearly imperceptible to us. As it changes ever slowly over countless human lifespans. A single stone may see thousands of generations come and go. Therefore, it contains an ancient and eternal presence. The stone is best used to anchor our wild side, so no matter how far we roam, we can always find our way back. The stone tethers us to earth, helping to ground and connect us to stillness, quiet, and peace. And when this card appears, it is likely the stone is a remedy for what ails us. Humble and easily unnoticed, the power of the stone balances the frenzy of our world. And it says in Jewish mourning tradition, stones are left at graves rather than flowers. So sit with this vision for a moment and see what unfolds. And it says, build a cairn in nature, and cairn is C-A-I-R-N, in nature. Find inspiration in Andy Goldworthy's stone egg forms. And when you're in the light of this energy, you're steadfast, you're loyal, you're committed, you're present. And when you're in the dark energy of this, you're weighted down, you're holding back, and you're cold. And to go deeper into this energy, it mentions here, Caspar David Friedrich's A Walk at Dusk is a story or a work that you can read to help connect more deeply to this energy. And this is perfect for this because, the thing that's holding us back in our passions are the things that weigh us down, hold us back, and are cold, right? The opposite of passion. And so this energy that comes in is that steadfast, loyal, committed, present energy. And so even though, the blocks are falling away, this stone still keeps us tethered and keeps us balanced. And so the fear sometimes that we have is if I give into my passions, chaos is going to ensue because it's all or nothing. And this is a wonderful kind of balancing stone. And I don't know why. So I have this, picture of like the Raiders of the Lost Ark with Indiana Jones, right? When he's going to take something and replace it with a bag, and he pours them out, and it's like, so it's that beautiful balance that comes. You're taking something and replacing it. So that stone is the perfect replacement for, as these things fall away. It's the energy that isn't a block. It becomes an anchor and a tether. So it doesn't block our way, but it also keeps us from floating off into space because we're tethered to it, right? And we're going to get more information on this, of course. I'm going to pull some cards here from another Wild Unknown deck, but this is the Tarot deck, and it's the company of these archetype cards. And we're just going to see what else the Creator wants you to know. And we're going to end up pulling 4 stacks. And I will explain those in just a sec after I shuffle here. Right. So we're going to pull 1 card here, and this card is going to represent from the August 8th Lionsgate portal all the way up to the Autumn Equinox on September 22nd. So what energy and experiences are you bringing in with you into the autumn period? And then we're going to pull a card here which represents September 22nd to October 22nd. A card here is October 22nd to November 21st. Of course, it's 1 day less because there's 31 days in October, so it kind of brings it back a day. And then this card is November 21st up to December 21st, which is the winter solstice. So let me just one more shuffle here. All right, Creator, what do you want us to know about August 8th up to September 22nd? What do you want Aquarians to know? Okay. And then September 22nd to October 22nd. Okay. And then October 22nd to November 21st. Right there. And then November 21st to December 21st. Okay. And then we'll also be getting clarification for all these periods of time from these everyday tarot as we go through. I'm just going to take a quick sip of water here. All right. So it already showed itself here. So the energies that you're working with, and I love this, this is the 7 of Pentacles. And literally, this is taking 1 step at a time. Not focusing on the other 999 steps that you have to go on your 1,000-step journey, but focus on this step, and then the very next step, and then the very next step. There's always the Zen saying that comes with this for me, which is chop wood, carry water. It's about do the things for today. Do the things that need to be done in this moment for each of the steps, and don't worry about investing all the energy of today and all your future days, because there's not enough energy in today to go for all those future days, because every day has its own energy. And so just focus on today, what needs to be thought about, what needs to be done, what needs to be completed, and then you're making that progress. It's about patience too. Don't think you need to get to the end fast, because when you get to the end, you just go on to another 1,000-step journey. There's always another journey, because this life is all about the journey and the experience, not about the outcome, not about getting to that place. It's about going through to that place. So I love that for you, because that's a wonderful awareness that comes to you during this period, is slow your roll, and you're definitely comfortable with that, I feel. So as comfortable as our human side can be, but at a deep level, you understand, yes, I get it. And it's just about reining in our little animal inside us. That little puppy wants to go, 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 and it's pulling on its leash, always, where it's choking itself, trying to move forward, and we're like, slow down. You know what I'm talking about. That Creator, what else do you want our aquas to know about this period of time, please? I tell you, the visuals I get are hilarious, and I love it, because we've got you know, this world is so serious that anything that we can laugh about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and you have the Knight of Cups here. Cups are your emotions, and then this is the chalice, the Holy Grail that holds the living waters that quench us. It's the essence of the unconditional love of the Creator of all things, of who we are, what we're made of on the other side. And the Knight is all about action, so it's about putting your love into action. So I love it. It's like, take your time, but don't be lazy, you know. You still have to take action on things, but just don't overdo it. So it's a wonderful balance. Let's see. Yeah. And you have the Hierophant here, who is the... it's like, for me, it represents organized religion. It represents the gates we face, you know, because you've got keys here. The organized religion will put up gates going, no, you can't go beyond here. This is only for certain people in certain positions with certain permission from, you know, God to come through. You know, there's only certain people of certain rank in the military force, you know, that can go beyond these. And these can be beliefs in organized religions, even in like metaphysics and stuff. Sometimes there's beliefs about, oh, no, you can only use your own cards, no one else can use them, or, you know, you have to cleanse them with this sage for these many minutes, and then you have to stand on your head. You know, there's all these things, and, you know, ritual and even society, all our rules and regulations are for our beautiful journey here. And so I don't diss any of them. I just say all of that because this card is telling you that you have the keys now to move past those gates, and you're questioning those. And the movement forward that you're making is because you're realizing that I don't have to limit myself. You know, my passions, you know, some of the obstacles that are happening for you that are keeping you from living the life you want are these restrictions that you feel you have, either beliefs that you have from other people about what is acceptable and what's not, or your self-worth beliefs about yourself. And so this is a big transformation for you of, you know, connecting to this unconditional love, seeing your worth, and both of those things combined with, you have the key moving beyond these spiritual gateways that have been closed to you before by your, you know, because of those opinions that you believe from other people, and then this conditional love that you had before about yourself, that there's all these things that are telling you you're not worthy in the outside world, but when you connect to this beautiful holy grail of unconditional love inside of you, then you discover you're priceless. And so you start going, wait a minute, I can go do this. And so you're taking these steps to go that direction. And I love that for you. Beautiful awareness from August 8th up to September 22nd, which brings you into here, which is your Six of Cups, which is about your emotions and your beliefs and your feelings, which totally makes sense with what you're just talking about. Is you're revisiting all these emotions you had about yourself and those beliefs that you had about yourself. You know, you have all this experiences, and that you and this one, it's interesting because usually I say these are all your experiences and stuff in life that you had and that have been, you know, made you who you are today. But I feel like it's like this is your you know, this is you, the real you, the hidden you, that you're the passionate you that you're hiding, and this is what you've been representing to the world as a tree. But when you discover and connect with this energy of this unconditional love, it becomes this. This is the roots that are down underneath, and this is the beautiful you, the tree above the ground that you're expressing. And so it's almost like springtime blossoms compared to like a winter death, you know. So it's very much a beautiful, in fact, we're going to leave it this way. In fact, I feel like I'm supposed to do this, where we see that tree is what's growing above there. And so that's you just feel like you're blossoming. You feel like you're actually being yourself. And well, there you go. Well, there you are, with the sun. And this is the higher you, the real you. And the sun is one of the most positive cards in the entire deck. And of course, represents that you're not being a little light, gonna hide yourself under a bush. No, you're gonna let your light shine, right? Like the old song. And so, yeah, definitely, it's all this brightness, this transformation into this beautiful, beautiful brightness that's just filling you up and expanding out because of that. And I love that. And that's definitely would be the heat of passion, right? Your passion on the inside is finally able to express itself into the outer worlds, whatever that would mean for you. Usually it means about expressing this unconditional love inside you in a way that is unique to you. How do you want to share your unconditional love with the world? Not trying to imitate someone else, but being you. And we'll see what else the Creator wants you to know about this period of time too. All right, what else do you want them to know about this period of time, September 22nd to October 22nd? Okay. Anything else? Okay, nope, that's it. I'm not surprised, Queen of Pentacles, so definitely abundance, the bunny rabbit, things are just expanding and growing. This reminds me of the Empress, Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. She's very much understands what a true abundance means. You find it in your heart. She has it close to her heart here. And because she's the divine feminine, it is about connecting to your emotional center. And of course, it's much about understanding the power of gratitude and thankfulness for what you do have in your life. And you switch from this seeing lack in your life and a hole in your life to seeing it's just fruitful and overflowing. And that's what happens when you find your worth based on this holy grail here, that unconditional love on the inside. When you define your worth by that, then all that external stuff that was out there that you were defining yourself by before, all that unstable stuff that left you disappointed, and where you do feel lack and loss and emptiness, when you do that, it switches, because when you define yourself by the inside instead of the outside, you feel whole and complete and you have everything you need on the inside. Then everything on the outside suddenly becomes extra, and there's no gap because there is no expectation in completing your wholeness, because you found it all inside you. And so when you look outside of you, everything anyone does is extra and beautiful and wonderful and abundance, and you're grateful for it. And that's the feel that comes with that card as well. Yeah, and then you've got the King of Cups, which of course represents, you got the Knight of Cups here, you got the King of Cups here, and again, he offers you that beautiful chalice. So you really embracing that unconditional love, that living waters. And I usually even sometimes refer to this as like Christ love. It's that love that we've been searching for all our lives, that love that fills us and completes us. So, and I love the masculine and the divine masculine, divine feminine represented here too. So you definitely have this wholeness and this completion, just this beautiful, amazing September 22nd to October 22nd. Which brings you, that makes sense. So you got the Wheel of Fortune. So change is happening. Things are switching. It's usually, change for, everything is a change for our better. And that's what the Wheel of Fortune story really, really tells us, is that, besides it's a 10 endings and new beginnings, but the Wheel of Fortune tells us about our life, and that before we came down here, as our beautiful soul, we decided, okay, this avatar that I'm going to that's going to represent me in this game as I play it. This is when it's going to enter the game, and this is when it's going to leave the game. And these are all the levels and all the things I want to experience as I go through this life. And it's decided beforehand, and that's kind of like all the fated events that are going to unfold in our lives. But the human side, which is beautiful, is we still have our free will. So as we're going through each of those levels, the speed at which we go to the next level is up to us, but also we get to choose with each event how it's going to impact us, what it's going to mean about us and others in the world. And are we going to choose emotions of extreme fear or extreme unconditional love or something in between? And that's what we get to choose as we're going along. And so we can walk along, with the flow of life. So if, it's like life is like a log. Oh, good. And I have a good example here. Maybe, hopefully there's nothing here I'm going to spill. But this is like, the Wheel of Fortune, and we're on here. And if we stay on here as the world and as all those things change, then we stay up on top. But if we don't, then we're like, and we get drugged, and we have to hold on for dear life as we go around and around and around, right? And if we do that, we're really only on top about 24% of the time and hanging on for dear life the other 75% of the time. So it's a wonderful, awareness that comes with that one, I can walk with life and it's going to be less stressful. And when I go with the flow of the turning of things, but also anything that comes into my life is by design and it's not happening to me, but it's happening for me. So beautiful awareness that comes from that, because that does move you from that place of being a victim, thinking that life is happening to you, to a more, glorious, kind of place. Not a victim, but like a warrior. Not a victim, but a victor instead. That's what I was trying to think of. Victor instead of victim. All right, Creator, what else do you want? Okay, our Aquarians to know about this period, October 22nd to November 21st. Okay, anything else besides that one? All right, last pass. Okay. Okay. And then you get the Page of Pentacles. So Page of Pentacles is great. Pages are like messengers. You know how the pages used to go, hear you, hear you. So you're going to have messages coming in from the outside world, because Pentacles are about our outside world. So you are going to be getting messages regarding your changes that are happening in your life, which I can totally understand with where you're going with this new awareness that you're having. I mean, life, you see life not as it is, but as you are. So as you're changing, your whole world is changing, how you're perceiving it too. Also, the Page of Pentacles is about this mentality of being like a child again, in that, when you go back to when you were young and small, before all those expectations and opinions came from the outside to tell you who you couldn't be, what you shouldn't do, good boy, good girl, bad girl. You go back to this place of freedom where you felt anything was possible. And so this is like new possibilities and amazing awareness has come, and you start to see them. They're actually in your face. You're like, wow, thank you. You're accepting new possibilities and new ways of doing things coming your way. Yeah, the Six of Wands, and beautiful. Wands, fire energy, your spark, your ambitions, your drive, your spiritual side too. And so, two sides of it. One, from your earthly side, you get the recognition and you get noticed by other individuals. And I can't imagine that you're not glowing after experiencing this energy here. And people are just like, what's changed? You're like, you have this grin, this smile, this glow. What's going on? And then also from a spiritual side, all these ones that are supporting you are your beings from the other side that you're connecting to, the spiritual realm, and all your posse of beings of unconditional love and light that are bringing their support and their love to you, through this period as well. and this will confirm that. But the because when I was talking about the Wheel of Fortune here, when we have all those fated things we want to have unfold, all our posse is working on having those things unfold for us. But it's also we can ask while we're here of our own free will for them to intervene and bring us messages and answers and signs and wonders and miracles, whatever, in our life. But it has to be us asking of our own free will, because they won't meddle with our own free will. They want us to experience what we want. But if we ask, then they're more than willing to help us. And this Three of Cups for me is an indication from Spirit for me that this is our beings of unconditional love and light that are there to support us. And so this is what adding on to these individuals over here, they're here to support us. And so that was reiterating that, like, ask for our help. We're here, we're doing all this other stuff, but we can multitask like no other. So ask, please. We want to help. If you so wish. And then that moves you into November 21st. And again, so you have the Hierophant here, you have the Hierophant here, and more keys. So unlocking more of your spiritual power, moving beyond more gates and more gates. So as you're going and understanding the things that have been holding you back, and then you open one gate and you go such a distance and you reach another gate, and you get through that gate, because you had two keys, right? So one key, two keys, and then here's your third big key to bring you that more change and that more expansiveness in your life as well. Yeah, here you go. And you got the Two of Cups. For me, this represents your human self, your avatar, and your higher self. And it's this joining together. Some readers will read this, of course, as romance and new love coming in for you, new connection. I really see it as a connection with your higher self, because that is the bond that you really come to be. And this belief really can be that as you become spiritual, you're told that I must destroy my ego and I must not feel those other feelings. And so we go about trying to kill our ego when really it's a part of ourself, and it's the brave part of ourself that came here to be separate from the collective, from the creator in that world of unconditional love, and to feel what it might feel like to be small, and what it might feel like to feel fear and all the emotions of fear, like betrayal and sadness and depression and bitterness and resentment and all those other delicious emotions that we don't feel on the other side, but we came on here to experience that. So that in experiencing what we're not, we understand more fully who we are. A lot like we breathe air every day. We don't even realize there's air until we're submerged underwater, and we're like, oh, I think I'm supposed to breathe air, not water. I appreciate air so much more, and I understand air so much more. Same thing with our existence as spiritual beings. On the other side, we're all of unconditional love. We don't even know what unconditional love is, because we just are it. And we come down here and experience a place, little space created where we can pretend that we are beings of conditional love, the opposite, right? And we feel fear instead of unconditional love and joy and peace and laughter. We experience all the opposites, and then we're like, oh, we can point back and see from being away from unconditional love, we can see that we are unconditional love, and then understand ourselves so much more. So this marrying between, which I always love when it's coming together, it's this coming together of the two sides of ourself, and understanding that it's not about rejecting that we're two magnets that need to repel one another, but we're two magnets that attract one another. And we can walk together, hand in hand, instead of trying to avoid one another, with our spirit and our human side. So, Creator, what else do you want our Aquarians to know about this November 21st to December 21st? Okay, anything else? Okay, no, that's just these. We got the Four of Pentacles, and I really feel for me this is about our self-worth. You know, we have what the earth has told us, what the heavens tell us, and then we have what we determine with our self-worth. Down here is a retail price, here we're priceless, and then here we make our determination in our heart. Who are we? And so this becomes, it's a number 4, which is a very stable number. I always say it's like the 4 legs of a table. When you have 4 solid legs, you have a very stable table, right? And that's what this represents, is you're finding this strong foundation in your own worth. Yeah. And then you have the Knight of Swords. Swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets. And this is about you're taking action on your new thoughts and your new beliefs. He has the Ace of Swords here, which is what you use to cut away old beliefs that are no longer serving you, old thoughts, mindsets, attitudes. And so you're bringing in new ones and you're putting them into action, because the Knight is all about action, action, action. So you're really feel like a lot of this is like this internalness. Yeah, even through here, this is like this internal growth and this internal awareness. You know, you do have messages coming from the outside world, but I really feel here is where you're putting it into action, into the more extensive external world. Wow, and here you go. I was looking for the Six of Swords over here, thinking, you know, well, this is about moving from old thoughts to new thoughts. And it could be movement in different areas too. So definitely movement, because you have the Knight of Swords and the Six of Swords here. It shows that you're moving across waters, which could mean travel, could mean that you're moving away from a relationship, away from a job, away from a home, a situation, whatever it may be, or it could just be moving away from thoughts. But there definitely is movement that is happening in your life during this period of time because of this connection and this awareness. But definitely a huge spiritual type of journey here that rolls out into your physical world, because how can it not, right? And then lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to pull a card from this deck, which is another Wild Unknown deck. I love these decks, companions to these two, but this one's the Animal Spirit deck. And what this one's going to be is what spirit guide or spirit animal is going to be with you all the way from August 8th, the Lionsgate portal, all the way through the Autumn Equinox period, at least up to the winter solstice, if not longer. So we'll see what spirit animal guide is going to be with you. The creator, which do you want them to know is around them during that period? Who's your tour guide? Who's going to be your companion? Okay. Oh, beautiful. I love elephants. It's a strong, and I love his third eye, fire there, and he's got fire here too. So definitely let's take a look and see what energy that they bring with you here. There we are. Yep. Unstoppable, auspicious, and wise. The elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles, so if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured the path will soon become clear. To add to the mystery, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. So trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with light of self-knowledge. And when you're in balance with this elephant energy, you have this one-pointed focus. You're generous, you're loving. And when you're out of balance with this energy, you misunderstand your fate. And to bring yourself into balance with this energy, it's trust. And who to trust? Your support team on the other side, the creator spirit, right? They're the ones that we only can really trust. They have no other ulterior motives. They love us unconditionally. They don't have any expectations. They don't need power. The humans on this side are egos. We do, of course, do that. But the elephant is a perfect companion for you because they're going to keep you on track. They're going to remove obstacles to have you go in the path, and they're going to block ways where they need to keep you, from drifting off and keep you on course. And so they're going to be a beautiful, beautiful, energetic, strong, just awareness, presence is what I was looking for, a strong presence in your life during this time. So if you see an elephant in the external world, beautiful. Let that be a reminder about the strength and, refocusing back on this passion that you want to live. And then also, if you see them online or friends talking about them or, you're going to come across it, let it be that reminder for you. You can even, if you want to attempt to draw an elephant or print out little pictures of them and have them all over the place throughout this whole autumn period, at least to help you remember what it is that you're searching for, what it is you want to make sure you're not drifting away from, to keep you on task. But it's something that you are love and passionate about, so it doesn't feel like work. You feel like you're finally living. You're not just existing. So beautiful autumn coming up for you. And just know as you go through each and every day of this autumn that you are unconditionally loved by the creator of all things. And I love you too. You have an amazing autumn, and I'm sure I'll talk to you very soon. You take care now. All right, my Aquarians, if you chose reading number 3, which is the yellow leaf, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from this Power of Surrender cards. And what this is going to represent is what the Creator wants you to know about what is falling away from your life or out of your life during this autumn equinox period. So give this a good shuffle here. Don't worry, we're also immediately going to look into what is going to be moving into your life to replace that. So as that energy moves out, the other energy is moving in right behind it, so you don't have any gap of, holes of energy in your life or anything like that. So, all right, here, one more shuffle. Creator for Aquarians that chose the yellow leaf. What do you want them to know about what's falling away out of their life? Wow. A lot of energy in these cards. All right, make it really obvious for us, please. All right, there it is. And you got surrender to the wisdom of your body. And it says, listen to your body's messages about a person or situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you're energized and happy, move forward. So in your relation to individuals around you, this is great energy because it's surrendering to the doubt and the doubt of not listening to yourself. Like you can't trust your inner gut and your inner feelings and your emotions. And it's moving away from just trusting your mind and the facts, because we're air signs, right? So Aquarians will be very logical and use a lot of our mind, like all air signs, to gauge things. But what's beautiful is that as you let go of that block of that, this is what I have to go by, is by the facts and nothing but the facts. It's trusting your gut and trusting that higher connection, that spirituality. So as that moves out of your life, then you're going to be trusting your body more, but and that gut, trusting what you're feeling and those small, quiet voices. And we'll find out more here too. We're going to pull a card here from the Wild Unknown archetype, which this is going to tell you what the Creator wants you to know about what energy or what kind of situation is moving in to replace this energy as it moves out. So let's see what the Creator wants you to know. here. So for our aquas that chose the yellow leaf, what do you want them to know about what replaces this? Okay, I really feel like this one. I'm just saying, hey, it's me. Hello, it's me. And you got the ocean. Beautiful card here, and that's card 35 in Roman numerals. So let's find that here. Amazing enough, ocean, water sign is water. So that's usually getting in touch with our unknown, our emotions and everything. So it makes total sense what we're talking about, right? It's the unconscious, the depths, the incomprehensible. The power of the ocean is unmatched. To step into its salty waters is to step into the unknown. By its sheer volume, the ocean represents the unconscious, all that is beyond our understanding. We cannot live within the ocean. We cannot claim it, manage it, or own it. It rejects our every attempt to dominate nature, yet amid its overwhelming power, it calls to us, inspires us, and invigorates our life on land. It dissolves the little us into the big us. When the energy of the ocean is present, there is change stirring that is beyond any change you've known before. The ego must dissolve. The saline swells work on your very cells, your fibers, your deepest underlying beliefs. Like Aphrodite, we rise from the ocean's froth, a new being. Life is change. Let the wave crash. And this is good news, because this is about we're letting our ego side, our human side, our shadow side take a back seat to our higher spiritual self, right? All our beliefs and our expectations, all those things that suppress us and keep us small are what are falling away. And we're connecting to our higher self, the higher world, the world that from our human side is so unknown, but from our spirit being, we are connected to it all, and so we understand it all. And this is this awareness, this connection, and I kind of feel like this is our third eye. It's it's indigo, and it has some blue, which is our throat chakra too. So all this beautiful energy up here is about connecting to the higher realms. It says here to study waves, touch their surface, get in the water no matter where you live. Each drop is part of the whole. The ocean is in every tear. Wow, right? And we're made of water, our human bodies, right? So we're even a part of the ocean. The ocean displays every emotion without shame. To witness its glassy moonlight surface and its unforgiving storms is to know the full spectrum of the human experience, right? When you're in the light side of this energy, you're deeper than deep. You have big dreams. You have discovery. When you're on the darker side of this energy, you're subsumed, you're drowned, you're polluted, you're unpredictable. And to go deeper into this energy, they recommend Shakespeare's The Tempest or Gericault. It's Gericault'. Well, The Raft of Medusa. So if you feel drawn to look into those to understand the ocean's depths energy more, feel free to check that out. But this is so perfect. It goes right in line with what we were talking about. You're letting go and getting out of your mind and into your heart, your emotions, and connecting to the higher realms. Not focusing so much on what's seen with the physical eyes, but what's seen with your spiritual eyes. And we'll, of course, dig more into this. Just take a quick swig of water here. And what we're going to do, these are the Wild Unknown Tarot, which are a companion to these Wild Unknown archetype. And what we're going to do with this, we're going to pick 4 stacks. And the first stack here, that's going to represent from the Lion's Gate on 8/8, the Lion's Gate portal energy. From that date all the way up to September 22nd, when the autumn equinox starts. And so it's going to be about what energy and what experiences you have that you're bringing into the autumn equinox. And then we're going to pull a card here, and that's going to represent September 22nd to October 22nd. A card here, October 22nd to November 21st. It goes back a day because there's 31 days in October, so it goes back. And then November 21st to December 21st, which is right up to the winter solstice. So I'll just give you a little more shuffle here, and then we'll see what cards pop out for those. All right, so first from 8/8 up to September 22nd, what do you want them to know? Okay, and then September 22nd, okay, to October 22nd. All right, just open that one. And then October 22nd to November 21st. Okay, so they want that one and that one for there, and then they want these for there. So, good information. We love all the details we can get, right? And then we will also clarify for each of these periods with these everyday tarot. So starting off, so the energies and experiences that you have coming up there is this beautiful Two of Cups. And for me, sometimes these are read as like new love, romance, etc., etc. But for me, this is about the joining together of both sides of you. Again, the human side and your spirit side. And so this is so perfect because these two cups are coming together. And it's about experiencing life and the emotions together of both worlds, instead of it being, separate, where they're, it's the roses are opposite, where there's the separation. That's what we experience before. That's what makes us feel lost and chaotic, alone, abandoned, all those beautiful, delicious emotions we feel in the human side. But with this beautiful connection, that's where we get the feeling of the unconditional love from the other side, because our higher self brings that to us. But we also are okay experiencing and feeling all the emotions of the human side. It's not this war against our spirit, against our ego. We must defeat it, because that's something we're told must be done. Destroy, destroy, destroy. But that just keeps us in this loop of the chaos. When we bring it together like this, when we bring these emotions together, we bring this love together, of our higher self and our physical self. Our physical self is wanting love, and the outside world only gives it conditional, temporary, unstable love, and it doesn't satisfy it. So that's why it's so desperate and hungry and thirsty. And our human side, our spirit side, brings an unconditional of what it's looking for, and it's finally, I feel content, I feel satisfied. And together you can walk through life then with that awareness, and it's an ebb and flow. We don't go 50-50. It becomes 40-60, 30-70. Sometimes we have little things that happen, but we can sometimes remain a pretty nice, balance between it at all. And we become comfortable with feeling our feelings of our human side. Realizing that it's a contrast for our higher emotions, which we can also feel when we want to. And we'll pull more cards here to see what else the Creator wants you to know about this period of time between August 8th and September 22nd. All right, Creator, what else do you want them to know about that period of time here? Okay. And these two. And that one. Okay. All right. So this is the way they want it. Okay. And then the Two of Swords. So again, reiteration here too, this is about bringing both our thoughts and beliefs, because swords are our thoughts, our beliefs, our mindsets, our attitudes, and bringing them together, because what this card represents is when you're only going by your thoughts, of the physical world. One of these is the moon, is our and you can see the waters behind here too, the ocean, the ocean, that it's about, making decisions, or decisions to be made, that it's this balance between, and taking that time to dig into the spiritual side, the emotional side. It's exactly everything we've been talking about, so I won't add more, but again, another two, emphasizing that there's two of you that are in this experience, two parts of you that are in this experience. And you have the Four of Swords here. So this is about resting your mind, resting your thoughts. So I don't need to talk more about that, really. And you got the Page of Wands, which this is beautiful because wands are your passion, your desire, your like the spark, inspiration, but it also represents your spiritual side, because fire and spirit, right? And so the page is someone who brings messages, and so this is that you're going to be getting messages from the spirit realm, which makes total sense, because you are that's what you're intending for and what your focus is on. It also, the pages, in addition to being messengers, were often children. And, when you look at the energy, the spiritual awareness that you had as a child, before you had the control that came over on what you were supposed to believe and what you weren't supposed to believe, and about, just, praise and punishment, bad girl, bad boy, good girl, good boy, it's all that. Before all that happened, you had this wonderful connection to the other side. That's why a lot of younger children can still see spirits. Like, grandma came to visit me. Well, she died last night. Like, what? Or even some young children see spirits of relatives that died years before they were born, but they'll like point at the stairs and say, Uncle Bob, and they're like, what? Bob was their brother's name that passed away years ago. And when they get out a photo album that the child has never seen, and they're looking through it, she goes, Uncle Bob, and points to the picture of Uncle Bob. Things like that happen, right? And that's because we haven't been taught all that. And this card is showing you that you're returning back to that type of feel where you're allowing yourself to be unbridled in your spirituality, in your spiritual energy. Yeah. And then you have the Seven of Pentacles, and this is about taking it a step at a time, not rushing. It takes time for things to grow. You see fruit starting to grow, and you're like, I'm so excited, and you're like, well, don't pick it yet. It's not ripe yet, And so this is kind of the, there's this Zen saying that I always have connected to this, which is, chop wood, carry water. It's do the daily things, keep doing it, and things will happen just one step at a time as you go. And so that focus comes in. So good energy. I like this nice, balanced feeling foundation that you're coming in with here. And then you start September 22nd. And then you have the Four of Cups. And normally the Four of Cups, you'll see like 3 cups down here, and there'll be someone sitting up by a tree that is bored and not satisfied with those 3 cups. And then there's this Ace of Cups is being offered from off the side by the hand of God, by the hand of the Creator. And what it is the 3 cups that are sitting there are they kind of represent the emotions you feel when you depended on the external things. And those things leave us disappointed and feeling empty, not feeling, that fulfillment. And so that's why they're bored. And then the Ace of Cups is actually the chalice, the Holy Grail. And what's in there, where these other cups had water that's not fulfilling and it doesn't quench your thirst, the Ace of Cups contains the living water, that which does quench our thirst. And that at the core is the unconditional love essence of the Creator of all things. And so it's giving us this gift of the living water, showing us what we're truly thirsty for. And it's an understanding about what we want in life. And what we've been searching for is really that unconditional love, and all all the love in all the wrong places on the outside is what's not fulfilling, but finding that love inside is what is fulfilling for us. And so this is that gift that it's bringing you, because 4 is a very solid foundation. And so you're getting a solid foundation of what you want to feel, Okay, and then you get the Father of Cups, who is the bearer and brings you this Ace of Cups. So very much it's the gift, double whammy here of telling you that you are being offered this beautiful, unconditional love from the Creator and becoming aware of it, which makes total sense with you coming into this, because this is what you're becoming aware of, is both sides of you. So we'll pull another card, or cards, whatever comes out here, to see what else the Creator wants you to know about this time frame between September 22nd and October 22nd. Okay, ooh, any others? Okay, yeah, we got all these here. And this is lovely, because the 5 of Pentacles is about your feelings of lack, your feelings of loss, of not being supported. And it's a beautiful message for this card, because these are like stained glass windows, and then you see the canopy of the universe, and it actually even is the cloak that comforts and protects, you here, this individual. And there's this message that comes to me for this card, which is when we trust that the outside and the humans are the ones that bring our abundance, then we are afraid, which understandably so, because it's an unstable world and we don't know if we can trust that it's going to bring us what we need. But when we understand it, and this is a change, 5 is about change, of point of view, about change in our life, you understand that it's the Creator who is the abundant one, the one that provides our every need, and all the humans are just the middlemen, the shipping company on how it gets to us. And so I really feel for this reading, this is telling you that you're understanding that you are cared for, and that is such an opposite feeling, from what you felt before, but with this love coming in, your understanding of just all of your abundance and your safety, your security, comes into play there. Yeah. And then you have the Justice card here. You have the Ace of Swords. She holds the Ace of Swords, which gives her the power to balance things, to cut away things that no longer serve us. And the scales here are about, you're making decisions. Again, with this 2 theme that's going on. One of them is light, which is your spirit side, and the other, is the human side of yourself. And so it's this balance between the two. It's not about, and that's why this marriage of the 2 that you're working together, it's like the balance continues, and just understanding the workings of the world, the earthly ego world, and the purpose of the journey versus the spirit realm and who we really are and where we're going to return to. And you're just getting this clarity on what is real and what is not, what is pretend, part of this game that we're in, and what is not. Okay. Then you have the Wheel of Fortune, so this represents, before your soul comes down here, it does determine what it wants to experience, what it wants to grow through, and all of that. And so what happens is, that whole, like I said, the game that we're going to play, we choose an avatar, this human body, we choose in character and personality. This is what I want my avatar to be. So we choose our avatar, what we're going to look like, how we're going to act, what our strengths are, what our skills are, all that stuff, like when you play a game, right? And then you choose, this is when they're going to enter the game, and this is when they're going to exit the game. And then during that period of time, these are all the events and levels of the game I want to encounter and accomplish and go through. And it's like, okay, so that's all set. Then the angels and the creator and everyone else goes, okay, that's the plan, let's go. And then that's how our life unfolds. That's like what fate means, right? But then the human experience, we get to play the game then, and while we're experiencing these events, we have our free will. What is this circumstance going to mean about me? What is this circumstance going to mean about the world? Blah, blah, blah. We get to determine all that. And we're going to choose emotions of extreme fear or extreme unconditional love or somewhere in between. And that's our free will on how we get to do all that. And then, so the Wheel of Fortune brings like two messages. One is that whatever happens in your life is happening for you because of the fated events that you wanted to have happen, but you still have the control on how you handle it, which is how you handle the wheel. And I love having this available nearby here because like this is the Wheel of Fortune and you're standing at the top here. And as the world is constantly changing, our world is, and so if you walk with it, then you stay on top and you're okay. If you stand still, then and you have to hold on until it comes back around again, right? And so if we walk with the flow of life and not resisting it and making those choices as we go along, then we are on this pretty nice flow of life. And if we don't, then we spend 75% of our time, around holding for dear life around the other side, because you're only on top about 25% of the time, right? So that explains life, right? And so that's the purpose of this is to let you know that the situations that come into your life aren't happening to you, they're happening for you. So that transforms us from feeling like victims to feeling like victors, because life is unfolding for our experiences. And then lastly, you've got the Three of Pentacles, which this is about doing the work, and that you do have support around you. So you can be this teacher, you can be this student, you can be a supporter of others. There's different roles that you play as well during this whole Wheel of Fortune. But really it's about that you're working on being a master and that people are recognizing that, and you do have support. Really I feel a huge amount of this support is from the other side, especially when it comes after this Wheel of Fortune, because it's everything that's unfolding for you in your life is being done by the invisible forces. There's always things that are being worked out behind the scenes that we have no idea until they arrive, right? And it's also this kind of subtle message that they are always working on all the fated events we asked them for, but while we're in it, while we're in the thickness of the game, we can still ask for assistance. We can still ask for answers and signs and miracles and whatever may come in guidance, right? But they won't meddle with our free will, or they won't meddle against the things we've asked to be fated as well. Because we're like, no matter what, these are the things I want, no matter how much I beg while I'm in it. They're like, okay, gotcha. And then while we're in it, if we ask them for other stuff outside of that, they're more than willing to give us the answers and support us and help us because they love us so much unconditionally, right? So all that brings you into October 22nd. And you got the Daughter of Cups. So this would be the Page of Cups in the regular tarot. And so you have the Page of Wands here, and the Page of Cups here would be about new levels of love and understanding. And I love this one because you see the little duckling, and they're looking and seeing their reflection, and the reflection has changed from black and white to being colorful. So you're not seeing things in your mind stuck to the have to, supposed to, shoulds, all those expectations. You're seeing yourself, from the glorious point of view of yourself. And you're seeing this new self-love and self-worth that's coming in. And again, you have this Ace of Cups here, which is this Ace of Cups here that you've been offered, and you continue to be offered that. It's continually refreshing. And that does bring you, like with this page where it takes you back to your childhood about your spiritual energy and all this takes you back to your emotional way of living when you were a young child, before you were told how you were supposed to feel and not supposed to feel. And it allows you to feel your emotions. It allows you to flow through them and not judge them, right? And not resist them. Because when we resist emotion, the emotion's still going to be there. It's just going to take us longer to get dragged through the emotion instead of just going with the flow and, swimming with the flow. You're allowed to feel emotions of the uncomfortable kind of our shadow, but it's understanding that it's for you and not against you, because that's that whole marriage thing between the emotions, right? And then you have the Ace of Pentacles. So new opportunities, new ways of looking at things. Well, not really looking at things, but like new opportunities. I'll leave it at that. And you can see this is very reflective of the Wheel of Fortune. If you cut your life in half, you'd be able to count the rings and see that at the core, everything was happening for you, that beautiful star in the middle. And so just knowing that with this new opening and this new awareness that you're having, you see possibilities that you didn't see before. And then you have the Sun of Swords, which in regular tarot would be the Knight of Swords. And swords, again, are your thoughts, your beliefs, and all that. And this is about action on your thoughts and your beliefs and all that. So with all this new energies and this new information and new awareness that you're having as you come through here, this was a lot of internal work. And like the Four of Swords here was like, rest your mind, connect to your emotions. And then this is about reactivating some new beliefs that reinforce. There's this tight relationship between thoughts and emotions and thoughts. And so it's like, okay, now you're reactivating thoughts as all this new possibilities and this new emotions pop in. You're just, there's action and activity in your mind again. And let's see, we're going to pull some additional cards here, of course, and just see what the Creator wants you to know about these what's the new thoughts? What are these about? What do we want them to know about these new thoughts? Okay, anything else? And last pass. Yeah, so you got the Hangman, which is seeing things from a higher perspective, from a different perspective. It's about seeing things with this new wisdom that you've gleaned. So yeah, definitely these action in these thoughts is that you're discovering new thoughts. You're with this Ace of Swords here, you're able to slice away those old ways of thinking and those old ways of being, like you had here with the Justice card there. And here's, so this is what you're cutting away. Because the Emperor, for me, represents the one, it's like society, the one who brings in and tries to restrict. And in the beginning, it's for our own good. Society was created with rules in the beginning, some basic rules of this is how we get along without killing each other when we have large groups of people with each other. And like, yay! And then power, our ego kept in and fears kept in, like, and then there's these rules and these rules. I need you to do this so that I can control you. And then it becomes very suppressive and very widespread, right? And this is the change. These are the sword is cutting away those expectations as you're looking at them, and they're just falling away piece at a piece. Sometimes they're falling away several at a time because they're so intertwined. And that's a freeing feeling for you because you're seeing that you get to make the decisions on what you believe, what your thoughts are, and your mindsets. It doesn't have to be set by these insistent people that are perceived as powerful on the outside. Yeah, because here you go. You have the moon connecting to your subconscious. Here's your ocean again, the moon and the sun, connecting to the duality, but definitely to the unconscious and the subconscious and the higher realms. Very much the moon is, has that high priestess feel who connects to the intuition in your gut, and that higher perception with spirit. And so definitely this sorting of things happening, this reconciliation between thoughts and emotions, talking about that are coming together there. Which brings you into November 21st. Yeah, and you got temperance. So again, balance between fire and water, balance between your mind and your heart. And then you have the 6 of Pentacles, and I'll come back to that one. Yeah, because you got the Hanged Man again. So again, seeing things from a higher perspective as you come into here. And the reason why I wanted to come back to this 6 of Pentacles, because this is about learning the giving and receiving. It's what I call the codependency card, because what it represents is, most relationships, healthy relationships in the beginning usually start off with a give and take, where it's equal giving, equal receiving on both ends, right? And that's the healthy. It's never, ever 50-50 or 100-100. It's always, depending on what's going on in someone's life, they are able to give more, and other times in life they need to receive more, and so that's good, But where codependency comes in is when an individual, and full disclosure, I'm a recovering enabler in codependent relationships, so I understand this piece of it, which is when you have this belief in your self-worth that you're not worth anything to someone unless you're able to give them something. And if you're not able to give something to someone, then they don't need you and they're going to find someone else. And so you have this fear of not being needed. And so you need to be needed, and desperately. And so when you get into a relationship and you give, and then you start to overgive, and you don't allow the other person to give back, to you, then it switches. The relationship goes, and it goes into where the enabler becomes like a parent, and this person becomes a child. That's the kind of dynamic the relationship takes. And you give and you give and you give, and you teach them to receive and receive and receive. And so they keep doing that, and then you get drained, and then you become resentful, and you're exhausted because you have nothing else to give. But they're doing exactly what you wanted. And then so wonderful journey, right? And then this person down here, because you wouldn't allow them to give, how awful it feels when you're the one that only can receive. You just feel low about yourself. So what does this individual do in a relationship? They go outside the relationship to find people that will receive from them, and then they can feel good like we're trying to feel good with all our giving. And so they'll pour themselves into their work, into a hobby, into a sport, into their friends, or into an affair, somewhere where they think they're feeling appreciated. At least they're able to give in that scenario in their minds. And so that's kind of what happens here. And this beautiful awareness that comes is understanding your relationship to the world, to the creator, to others, in that it's an equal give and take. And that the underlying message is it's okay to receive, that your definition does not come from what you can give. It's you, your self-worth is based on that. You are just you get filled up with this unconditional love, you fill up, and then the overflow is everyone else gets, and you're not left feeling resentful and empty and drained. and everyone appreciates what is overflowing to them because there's no resentment or bitterness attached to it, no expectations of where's my thank you, or you love me, right? You love me, right here, let me give you more, you love me, right? And it's that wonderful balance that comes back into our life because we understand that it's just the give to yourself, that self-nurturing that fills up, and then it overflows out to everyone else. All right, and then we'll see what else the Creator wants you to know about this period of November 21st to December 21st. All right, Creator, what else? What else do you want us to know about this November 21st to December 21st? Whoa. Okay, and these are it. So this is the first one, the world, and this is wonderful. So this is major endings to major cycles. So an ending to a major cycle, which is beautiful, right? You have both wands in your hand, so you are empowered, and you're ready for the next stage. You're ready for the next journey and the next adventure in your life. So I really feel, especially after this, you're like, yay, I'm ending this cycle, but you're also allowing, like it mentioned here in the beginning here, if you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If your energy isn't happy, move forward. So you are realizing so much about your energy, and you're realizing about listening to it. And you're like, okay, there are things I've done and I'm ready to let go of, and I've completed it, and I don't need any more of it, right? And then you move on to other things. And I'll come back to this one. Yeah. Because here's the Nine of Swords. Here's all those expectations and all those supposed to be's and should be's and need to's and have to's. And you're ready to let go of those because these are the things that keep you up at night and give you nightmares, insomnia. And it's the good news because you're almost to a 10, which the 10 of Swords is usually someone's face down in the dirt with all the 10 swords in their back because all those expectations have ultimately wore them out. But the good news is they're not dead. They're looking towards the sun rise that's coming. So there's new hope coming. And you reach this place of, I'm just done with that. I just can't do it anymore. And it's a wonderful release and a letting go of all that stuff, which is great. So that's definitely, I feel like with this world, the end of the cycles, and that's why I'm putting it on top of the card, because that is the end of all that. Which brings you to your final card here. I'm going to put one more spirit animal card, but so this last card for this month anyway is the Strength card, and this is so perfect to bring us back to, it's the same story or similar story of these Two of Cups, because the Lion is your human side that is hungry and thirsty, and it's taught, look out here, here's the food that will make you feel full and will quench your thirst. So the lion goes, okay, I believe you, and it goes out there and it eats, and it's hungry. Moments later it drinks and it's thirstier, and so it gets hangry, which is hungry, angry, and it becomes this roaring lion in the jungle because it's desperate to be satisfied and to make this hunger stop and thirst stop. And then you have your higher self, you have the infinity symbol there, so your infinite self, which is a being of unconditional love and light, is the one that comes down to comfort it. See, it's like, oh, it's giving a little hug. Well, what the lion is really hungry for is love, and our being of unconditional love is able to give it what it needs. And so it doesn't try to suppress the ego like we talked about before with caging it or stabbing it with a sword or beating it into submission with a chair and a whip. It gives it love, the hug, it gives it the love that it's been looking for all along. And so it transforms from this roaring lion in the jungle to this purring kitten on our lap. And we're able to have this beautiful balance because we're able to give ourselves what we've been looking for all along. And so that's, a beautiful way to end this, because that's That's definitely the same type of energy there. And then lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to pull a card here, like I said, from this animal spirit deck. And this is also the Wild and Unknown series, which is related to these two. But this one is the animal spirit. So we're going to see what spirit guide or animal spirit is going to be with you all the way from the August 8th Lionsgate portal, all the way through to at least the winter solstice, if not beyond. So we'll see what spirit animal the creator wants you to know that is going to be by your side that entire time, helping you along with its beautiful energy, its expertise. And you got the hawk. Beautiful. Definitely a higher point of view, right? And let me see here. Of course, air energy. So you will relate to the hawk very well because you're also air. Yeah, watchful, all-seeing messenger of divinity. So the sharp eyes of the hawk watch our every move. This keen-eyed bird has the ability to see every little detail as well as the big picture. So when this card appears, fate has its eyes on you and the winds are shifting. Like we talked about the Wheel of Fortune, right? It is said that the hawk carries news upon its wings and is sent from divinity itself to deliver it. The message should not be taken lightly. Though it may seem small or insignificant, it will eventually redirect your course. When you're in balance with this energy, you see clearly. You're intuitive. Exactly what we talked about. When out of balance, you see too much and you're suspicious. So to bring that energy into balance, it's all about a perspective shift. So definitely with all these hangman, I'm seeing things from a different perspective, everything we talked about here. The hawk is a perfect energy to be with you throughout the entire period because they're about seeing things from that higher perspective and from this ocean energy point of view, right? The connection to the above. I am loving this. What a beautiful autumn you're going to have. And just know as you're going through every second of every day, you are unconditionally loved by the creator of all things, and I love you too. You have an amazing autumn, and I can guarantee you I'll be talking to you very soon. You take care now.